First thing first, sound check. Okay, we have met again. Please let me know if the sound is very good, and then I can take it from there. So anyway, um, I wanted to do like a quick, discussion about, as you know, in our endeavor to as we pursue our projects, and especially for most of us, we are doing it from outside. I wanted to just share a little bit about some of the challenges, and or some of the concerns that maybe even prevent people from even pursuing this endeavor. So, but in the meantime, if you can let me know where are you listening from, that'd be nice. So, um, so then that so I can just just for curiosity, just want to know where people are listening from, or if it's the state or countries, that'll be fine too. And I hope your day is going very well. It is pretty cold in the Midwest here, um, and we have some snow, so we are all incubating right now. But anyway, but yeah, so one of the things you know I've been I've been talking to people, also finding out some of the challenges in general that people are experiencing. This can be before foundation, or even like different levels as they continue the project. And I find out that it's not we are unique in the sense that we at a certain point we are going to meet either similar challenges, or at least most of them. So this is not just unique to one person. It's like everybody's going to be dealing with several issues, some more so than less. And so I think the biggest thing I would say, the biggest challenge would be, I think I would say, would be two categories: money, right? You know, coming up with enough money to, because it's not a cheap process, and also to take off all your other responsibilities. So if you are listening, just check in. Let me know where you are listening from. That'll be great. And so, um, the biggest thing one is, I'll tackle the money aspect. So obviously you have to be able to take care of yourself, and um, then save money for this project, right? And that should, I think, should begin like several years of saving, and then the biggest thing you can control is that you can control how much you save compared to how much you make, right? There's there's a little bit of restriction how much you can make, but you can control exactly how much you can save. And I think that is a make or break, right? I always tell people, at the end of the day, it's not how much you make per se. It's more like how much you save, because you can make $1 million a month, and you can spend like $1.25 million, something. So we have North Dakota, Canada, California, Midwest, Louisville. Okay. So so then you save, right? And so you start saving money. Okay. And it's helpful if at least one person in the household is like diligent with money or frugal or whatever, or like the numbers, and whoever that person is should actually, you know, set a goals and say, okay, every month we put XYZ into this thing that we are about to, we have Florida in the house, Canada again, um, that we are about to pursue. So then you save, I would say, once you get about 10%, 15% of what you think is going to cost to build, then you can start working on like your blueprint and that kind of stuff, right? So once you've done, and saving is just, you have to at least designate it like fixed amount, a fixed amount of money that a year, you know, that if it's 5,000, 5,000, if it's 10,000, 10,000, you say, you know what, every year this is how much we are going to put. And then you can increase it by maybe 5% every other year or whatever. Um, so that was also entail a lot of sacrifice, discipline, right? So a lot of vacations will have to be put on hold. Nice gifts will have to put on hold, and that kind of stuff. So that's the one. So that's the one challenge aspect. Then the other major challenge is people, right? Okay. So then you have to find somebody you trust, right? So that is a big deal. You know, that is a big deal. And we know stories, okay, stories that, you know, happens in Ghana. We know that, and some of these stories, if you don't put into perspective, actually will prevent you from even considering anything, right? And so, and the thing about life in general is like somebody's going to use you in your lifetime. Nobody's immune, okay? What you don't want is being abused. That's what you don't want. But somebody is gonna use you. It's just the nature of just dealing with people, right? Okay, so it is going to happen. Your goal is to just make sure it's not costly, too costly to you. So the frustration is incredible. I was talking to one of my subscribers yesterday, and I would like to, I have people from London. I'd like to show you a picture of what he sent me, and then I will ask to see if some of you can guess what it is. Okay, so this is, he sent me something like that, looks like this. Okay, so I'm gonna keep in here for about 5 seconds. Okay, and so he sent me something like this. Can anybody take a guess what it is? First time I saw it, I thought it was like a whale or something, or some map of some unidentified country. But anyway, so this thing here is what the town surveyor that he sent to his site after collecting money to somebody get a site plan, correct, right? To draw, to basically survey the land and come up with a latitude, longitude, and all the coordinates and all that stuff. That is what he came up with. Okay, this is what he came up with. This thing. Okay, and so this is some of the nonsense that you got to deal with. Okay, that a 2-year-old could have drawn this thing. So this is what he paid money for, and this is what he got, right? And so stuff like that can be so heartbreaking, right? And so it's like, it's just one of those things that you can find people to do the right stuff, the right thing, and people would not tell you, and be honest, right? To be honest with you. So we are not all, we, you know, it's like nobody's immune to this. Okay, I've had my share of things, and so my thing is that what I wanted this discussion to be about is to is to basically give you some motivation point, right? So in spite of all the stuff, in spite of people not taking money, not doing what they're supposed to do, not knowing what is going to happen, whether there's actually a house is going to exist when you get down there, all the horrible stories, family members and all that kind of stuff. My goal is to give you some motivation point that will keep you going when you meet your crisis. Okay, preferably you have figured some things out, out in the beginning, so that you are verifying people and not go blindly. So you have all that in place, but something's going to happen at a certain point, because people are people. And so the goal is to not put everything on hold and say that's it, right? So that is a big thing. So I know some of my videos we've talked about, land registration, pursue all that stuff, check, the builder, have people check on each other, that kind of stuff. Um, get quotes, multiple quotes, check prices of things on your own. So you do all that stuff. Um, but at a certain point, either they're gonna do something without like quality material or something, and next thing you know, the wall is cracking here. Those things, right? It's gonna happen. But for me, the biggest thing is what I use for motivation is that fear. Number one is fear. Fear can be a great motivator, right? When used appropriately. The fear for me was I didn't want it to be that one person comes here, spend 40 years, go back to Ghana, have nothing to show for. Okay? So that was, I would say, initially, that was like the biggest motivation, that I didn't want to be that guy. That I go to Ghana and I'm in my late 50s, in mid 60s, whatever. And I feel like I have to I have to like lower my pride or like put myself in situation of people that could be like my grandkids, for them to maybe to disrespect me or something like that. So for me, uh, that was one. That was the biggest thing. So that was the thing, that at least when I go back or when I visit, I want to have my own place, and there's nothing like your own place. So that was the initial motivation, and then another one is to like um, a place to have you know kids, friends and everything when they come a place. That's the second motivation. But the thing that kept me going, like between point to point, there's Dallas in the house, between like points to point and that kind of stuff, was I will watch, vloggers, right? So like the people that take vacations and go to Ghana, they have motivated me more than like anything, right? Because the goal for me was when I left Ghana in 2012, when I visited, my attitude was like, if I don't finish my house, I am not going back. And I wanted to be in Ghana every day. Every day I want to be in Ghana. So but I knew I have to earn the right to visit. I have to earn that right. And I needed to do what I have to do. So that was the thing, and I will watch these videos to just keep me focused. It's like a tease, just to, it was as painful as it is when I see the wache and the dokunu and the fufu and all that stuff. It was like, it was a great motivator for me to go. But I say, you know what? You haven't earned the right to go. You have to keep getting this moving. So that's that. But even though the vloggers were motivating to me, you know, uh, here's also like a little tip for the vloggers is, most of them I think are young. It's fun. We all did this a little bit. We go to Ghana Christmas time, have a great time, all that stuff. But at a certain point, you want to start planning something, because Ghana, prices of land and other things is gonna go through the roof. And for me, I suspect in our lifetime we will meet some economic challenge in terms of disruption of global, you know, financial system or something. I think in our lifetime. And so we have to stop thinking about this thing and say, what happens if this country I reside has this thing? Can I move over there and not drastically reduce my quality of life? Right. So at a certain point, the going to Ghana and chilling, at a certain point, it has to have a purpose. So you know what? I need to get my own place, start doing something, right? And then after that, you can chill. I think so. So, but in between that, you need that motivation to keep you going. The stories, the heartbreaking stories, is gonna come. It is coming. It is gonna come. And but for me, I don't think there's a valid reason to say because of XYZ, I'm not going to do anything. And the sooner, the better. The sooner, the better. Because unfortunately, some of the people that have the visa issue, Ghana versus US issue, there are people in there that are regretting, right? And I think the biggest thing for them is knowing that they weren't able to do something. So it's the shame aspect that is the most devastating. That's what they are worried about. If I get shipped right now, I'm not gonna be crying. I can tell you that. So that is so those things can be used as lessons, right? Those things can be, and I don't care what we do here, how much we make here, or what other people make you think your value is. At the end of the day, you have to be realistic. This is not your place. Something happened, you'll be first to, there's an option, you have to be sent back and stuff like that. You have to put things in place. So it's about planning. It's about planning. And so one of the things also you can do is like I call something called like victory point or success point, right? So you can set a goal and say like, okay, when I finish foundation, uh, you know, that nice dinner that I want to have, okay, I get to have that. When I build to lentil level, I get to do, something, right? Just to kind of like rejuvenate yourself, you know, and stuff like that. So those things also help. But in terms of just, you know, big trips, like spending thousands of dollars of money and or buying a lot of stuff or even sending a lot of money back home and or just going to Ghana just for rest. I think like you have to setting goals in there that until you've met them, you are not going to be doing that. And once you start doing that, you are going to find something about yourself and find out how quickly you can be disciplined in terms of saving your money because you have this goal um, of accomplishing something like this. Okay, and so, but the challenges is going to be ongoing. It will be ongoing. Um, at at any point, a good person can turn bad. You can control that. Okay, things happen. But for me, your goal is you're a winner. And so your goal is like, no matter what it takes. If I have to put it on hold and I have to go down there and work it while I'm there for a month and then come back, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. But there's no excuse for to justify inaction because I think um, as we get older, we will find out that this country is very difficult to live. Just the environment alone. Okay, so we have to do that. So if you have any other motivational stories too, you know you can share it. Yeah, like somebody said, family members, right? Living with family members, and it. I don't care. I mean, you may think that, oh, your family is great, great, good for you. But usually this is what happens, right? You come there, obviously you take care of the financial responsibilities, and then you stop doing that, and then you see how quickly they can tolerate you, right? So, but that after a while should get old, right? I think there's nothing like your own. There's nothing like your own. So that to me, I mean, granted, when I go to Ghana, there's only one place that I stay. Um, and and even though like it was loving place, no issue, but it was just like, nope. I want to get my own thing, bring my own friends, stay up late, can come in anytime I want, um, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so and yes, and another thing too is like, yeah, we all came up with a purpose, right? We all came here with a purpose. Hopefully, for some of us, came here for education, economic freedom, or opportunity, and something like that. And and the thing that I like about Ghana is like when you go down there, you get a reality check, right? You see your friends sometimes, those you went to school with, some are doing well, some are not doing so well. Or you get to see people that have minimum means actually get up and they make something out of themselves. And so, at a certain point, like here they say, get it together, right? Because if it's to be done, it's up to you. And I think there's a point that you have a good you chill, then you pause and get things done. Then you can pick up the chill once you have certain things like, and we should be careful, right? Other people already create that lifestyle so they can come on television or whatever and like showcase that. But if you're not there yet, don't waste your money on that kind of stuff, right? So you take care of business, then you can have the fun. But in the process of taking care of the business, you'll be going through a lot of things. There's a lot of setbacks. There'll be disappointment. It's like, and anybody that has ever owned a house will tell you this: it is never ending. There's always something to do. Always something to do. Okay, so it is something that is like you would never get to a point I think it is done because things break down, and all that kind of stuff. But I think it is worthy. It is worthy to do that. It is like there's no excuse. You have to do it. Right now, in the Western countries, immigrants are being shipped home. It's happening all over the place, right? It's not coincidence. It's not coincidence. So we don't have to wait for these things to happen. We can see it. If it's happening to other people, it can happen to you too. I know you want to say you are citizenship on paper. That's what that means. Okay. If you are not born here, they can use anything, any draconian law to remove you. Okay. And so I think like this thing that's going on is for me the best thing. When Trump won was the best thing for me because I told my black friends, I'm like, look, we have been getting comfortable under Obama. Okay, we went to sleep under Obama. Okay, so when Trump came and he was saying all this stuff, I'm like, great, great. It was a motivating factor for me. It was a motivating factor for me to do what I need to do ASAP. I say, you know what? He's made it clear to me. Now I know. And so it was a good motivating factor. So I think that we should use all the sources of motivation. And your motivation may be maybe you want to be the big bugger in the area. Whatever it takes you to move, right? Maybe you are that person that nobody thought in your family you're gonna do something, right? Use that as a motivation. Use that. Maybe the first few years of your life things didn't go according to plan, so people wrote you off. and now you know you get things in order, everything, you know. And so it's like, so the motivation, you whatever it is that, whether it's fear, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, use that, and be resilient. And and use that. And so it's like, and I feel like, so we talk about challenges, money, people, but also think too is get a support network. And I think that is a big deal, because you're a human being, you live in a world, things happen, life happens, and you have a good moment and you have your bad moment. Some your fault, some not your fault. And if you have a person or somebody who's pursuing a dream or in the same arena, who understands this frustration, and the challenges that you go through, then you link up with that person and you share ideas. It's a way to also deflect, right? Uh, Yourself, so, and that is very, very important. That is very, very important. So don't do this thing in isolation. It is difficult. Okay, it is very, very difficult. So, in every negative experience you hear about this process, you think about, okay, what can I do? That kind of stuff. But you can't just be sitting down there and have anxiety. At a certain point, you got to get in, and you're gonna learn. Nobody, you're not gonna be learning everything from watching. You have to get involved and then learn and figure this thing out, and you make good decisions. You learn, from how you work with people. You begin to read people very well when you talk to them and stuff like that, and you rely on your instinct. But something along the way is going to happen. But your job is, our goal is to like minimize it. So yes, and the one thing is, like somebody said here, um, yes, you have to be direct. You see, we get too soft. I don't know, there are not soft people here. Uh, the Ghanaians here are tough. We are resilient people. We work harder. It's crazy the things we do. For some reason, when we deal with our brothers and sisters back home, we are so lenient, and because of that, they take advantage. There's this mindset that we don't know what is going on. We came from there. We know we know when they go tell the person selling the materials that they should, you know, create a new invoice with overages and they split it. We know all that stuff. Like we know, like we are not dumb. We know what is going on. It's just sometimes it's a waste of time to be nitpicking a bunch of stuff. But we have to we have to be aggressive. We just have to be honest with them and let them know some things is not just going to fly. And like I've said, it's easier to deal with other people than family members. Okay, it's not just going to fly, and you have to let them know. Fama nyami thing. When you're building your project, forgiveness. You bring forgiveness after you finish your project. That you put it aside, because if you have that mindset, because human beings size you up. Okay, is the animalistic in us, right? You always will size the person up. You read them well, and then if they think like they can do something, they'll try. So you don't want anybody to figure you out. You won't figure them out. And so you have to set a tone. It's your money. You work for it. It's your dream. It's your project. You set a tone of how it's going to go down. And if it doesn't go down, the consequences. Okay. And then they know, at least they know. That will save you a lot of headache. Will save you a lot of headache. Okay. And the good thing we have in Ghana too is like, you have two advantages. Like, you can always find somebody to do the job. They know that, you know. So you can also use that. Use all the tools. Use all the tools to advantage. Sometimes I do this. You send two groups of people to go there at the same time, like two like welders, they go there, and you know that okay, if he's not doing the job, you have somebody. You have somebody to do the job. Or you send two masons over there. So there's no way that they should outsmart us. I just don't believe in that. Okay, I just don't believe in that. So granted, if you're on the ground, you can control a lot of the stuff. They will still try to pull things over your eyes. They will do it. It's just their first inclination. But if you're on the ground, you can mitigate some of these things. But if you're not there, then it's almost like by default, right? You have to rely on people, but let people know they are disposable. You know, and so for some of us, it is very easy because that's our temperament. For some of us, is we have to master this thing. But what is at stake is the overtime and the stuff, all the sacrifices, the other 2, 3 jobs you did and everything, working 5, 10 years, all that thing will be in vain. That is what is at stake. So whatever it takes you, and has nothing to do with being nice or anything like that. It's business. It's just business. It's just, if in the process of building this thing you develop like a good friendship, so be. But that's not the goal. The goal is like you are here to do a specific job and get paid and move on. So you treat it like that. And some in the process you develop relationships. Some, you never hear of them again. So, and you want to have like a main person, like a contractor, right? Initially, so that's the person like you send money to, you know. And so like what I do, what you do, some other ways to overcome these challenges is, so you get a quote, let's say $5,000, right? And the material. So once you do all your negotiations on labor and stuff like that, then you can do a third. You send like 1,800, whatever. You send over there. They go get some materials. They send you a picture, um, and that kind of stuff. Then you give them some money, some labor to start. Then they send you pictures. You get your pictures, and then you buy the rest of the material they're working. You give them a little bit of labor and say, when you finish, I pay you the rest of the labor, and that's it. And then you want to be consistent with that. If you tell them you're going to pay them Friday, please, when Friday comes, make sure their money is ready. Because other than that, if you have a habit of not paying them on time, then they come up with schemes and that kind of stuff. So you also be responsible. And then after some time, like with my builder, Steven, so like I don't do this with him anymore because we've gone through this in like 7 years and stuff like that. So I can send him pretty much any amount of money. Uh, that doesn't mean you should do that. I'm saying you develop that relationship as well. But I have developed that with him that I know, like, I know his wife and kids, I know his house, you're not gonna go anywhere, that kind of stuff. So, and he live in a story building, he's not gonna abandon the house, that kind of stuff. The people renting the chamber and hall, they can move out and that kind of stuff. So you develop that, and like some of my other, like my plumber, I can pay him, my carpenter, I can pay him directly. My electrician, I can pay him directly. So a few people, but in the beginning, you want to have one person that you deal with, and at any point that they play funny games, next, next, and that kind of stuff. So, and one of the things to like, you want to be smart about is when you when you start your foundation, right, and you're working, try to employ some of the neighborhood boys, okay? So give them something to do, whether they bring in sand to, mixing and do that kind of stuff. Give them something to do because those people, because eventually, right, you get a phone number of one of those people, and they are the people that give you tips of what is going on. So you plant your spies all over, okay? Because they in the neighborhood, they know what is going on, They can tell you whether your bidder brought some people over there to check out the land for sale, which is not for sale, and that kind of stuff. So that is what you do, right? I have about three people around my area that I can call. Some I've given them work to do. I've given them recommendations. So if anything, I call when they give me information, what is going on, that kind of stuff. So that is one of the things. So, but the challenges is gonna be, from incompetence. You're gonna deal with a lot of that. Um, Quotes that varies like day to day. Like they give you a quote, like inability to calculate the right materials, right? You're gonna deal with that. People not deliberately buying the right materials. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have people that will take the money and not do anything. Potentially, that's one of that. Um, and then you're gonna have the 1% that you call to pick up, they don't pick up that games. You're gonna have that, and then you're gonna have people that are like they are reliable. So you're gonna have everything, but I think how you set the stage, okay, from the beginning matters. Okay, how you set a stage. So you gotta have somebody in there that is direct. If you're a single person, then that has to be you. Unfortunately, like if you're female, a single female, you try to do this by yourself. The single females go through worse than the guys, because the guys over there, they have two attitude, right? One, they feel like they can they cannot listen to them and get away with it. So that's one. Two, they feel like they know everything, and the single female whose work, whose idea and brain of what a project is doesn't know what they want. So if that's the case, get another male person that will enforce whatever you want, and then tell them straight up, say, look, I know you have a habit of not listening to women. You're gonna be working for me. If you show any sign of disrespect, you'll be out of here. Like right away. Let them have it right away. Okay? And so in terms of somebody say like, forging receipt and all that stuff, I check. The thing is that you can check. You can check. This is what you can do. See, the thing about finding somebody else, right? In a neighborhood, you find that person, you send them like $50 or whatever, you give them a list where they bought that stuff, where they forge all the receipt. They have a phone number, they can go there and go and start asking prices right away. Whether if they forge something, they will know. So there's a way you can go around um, people, and then find out what it is. Okay, but don't. There's never any good reason why not to pursue, not to do it. Um, the excuse that, oh, I can't trust anybody. Well, is we don't live life through trust. We do a lot of things not based on trust, but we take chances. So and that's what life is about. There's nobody that you're gonna find that you're gonna trust 100% unless yourself, unless you go and do it by yourself. Somebody is going to find some way. And the most important thing is that you are putting things in place to mitigate that, or at least um not have a situation that somebody has put your project like on hold for because they took a lot of money away and that kind of stuff. And then set the motivation, you know get your motivation in whatever the source is. Just get it. It's only going to be expensive. Land is only going to be expensive. Building is only going to be expensive now, and there is no excuse. Like I said, you can have a good life here, whatever that means, but If you have been observant a lot, for some of us that came from outside the country, when we get older, and those who haven't done anything, you can see that regret. You can see that regret. That so for me, it was one of the motivation that I didn't want to go to Ghana 60 years old, and I'm going to go rent a chamber and hall, and I'm getting yelled at by like somebody who's like my grandson or even like my son or something like that. I didn't want to put myself in that situation. So whatever the motivation is, use that. So when I visit Ghana this year, I'm gonna do obviously I'll do some videos on the side. Um, I do I don't know if I'm gonna do like thorough room, like like everything. I'm gonna actually do some live stream in some of the rooms and stuff like that. Um, no, because like I mean, obviously for security reasons, I can't just like show everything in terms of okay, you come in, this is where everything is, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. But I would do like area view too as well, and daytime, nighttime, and that kind of stuff. And then from there, as I leave in the house, I can be able to tell you, hey, this thing was done properly, this thing was not done properly, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but yeah. So the thing too is like when you get be careful too with architects, right? Because and here's the thing too. It's like if you use an architect from the US, um because usually is it means the building code, right? So if you take it to Ghana and they say it doesn't meet code, don't even pay attention to that nonsense. Most of the houses over there doesn't even meet code. So it's like you have to be, because sometimes it's a way of them try to take money away from you. And so the architectural drawing here actually is like, if they submit it, they will get like a payment for that. So everything that they put in there is on point, legitimate, structurally sound, and everything. You don't have to worry about that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna spend your money, and if this is the only house you're gonna build, how you want to build it? Do you want to just have Joe Blow at some place just do a plan for you, or you just want something that you can just live in there and be happy, and that kind of stuff. So you pay the architect, pay them, and then get something great, and then something that you really really want, and then go for it. Yeah. So we dress about challenges, right? So that is part of the process. That shouldn't break your spirit. I know it's frustrating. I know sometimes it's so depressing. Like, man, you can't even find somebody to go do just simple things, right? It is hard, right? It's hard. I get it. You know, I get it. But you have to plow through. You have to plow through. In the end, some of your money will go through, forgery, you know, miscellaneous. I call it miscellaneous things that was not planned for and that kind of stuff. Some part of the money will go to all that stuff. But by the end of the day, you gotta go for it. You have to go for it. And so, but find somebody that you can go and talk to that understand your plight, how you save all this money, and you call the person, they change your WhatsApp number and all that. So find somebody. And I think the more we feed off each other, the more like we also like empower ourselves and educate ourselves, to see what is going on, what is the new scheme. The new scheme changes like week to week, right? But I think that we are smarter. We should, we are more adaptive, and and I don't think we should allow ourselves to be. to be outsmarted by those people? I don't think so. Unless we are naive and that kind of stuff. So, but let them know. Let them know what's up right away. Um, and then take it from there. Yeah, so one of the big thing too is like, so when you so one this is one of the benefit of when you do your architecture drawing from here, right? So structure is very, very important. And so, because my in my building plan, even to the thickness of the pillars that is going to support, I have like two pillars inside the house. Even to the thickness and all that stuff is included, right? The diameter and everything is included on the plan. So the most important thing is, so you have to take that and go get a bit of permit, right? And so then you have to get a competent builder who understands this thing, right? Because if you are using pillars for support, you use a different iron rods, right? You use a thick iron rods, right? So those things. So I think if you are building it from Ghana, or if you have the plan from Ghana, you may have somebody that who put these engineering pieces together, knowing that, hey, has to be structurally sound, or you may not, or you may not. So, but here, if you use a qualified architect, they do it to building code, and basically what you have to tell them that everything is cement or that kind of stuff. So they factor that in. They can just use your software to get those numbers in. So that is one of those challenges, right? And and we have to be careful too. Like if you go down there, there's certain things you can change, but there's certain things you don't want to change. Like for example, if if your second level is supported by four pillars from here based on the drawing, then you go down there, you say, you know what? If I take those two down, I can get like a good view. Don't do that. Don't do that, because those are like support structures and that kind of stuff. So those things you don't want to do. But in terms of like maybe opening up the space 2 feet here and there, yeah, you can do that. But in terms, so you have to be careful. So I did my plan from here, um, and I suggest that, because it's one of those things that you have to be involved. I don't think I can do a plan from somebody all the way down there, right? Because it's good when you can sit with a person or do live chat, looking at the same thing, and then just the person gets to see exactly what you want. So they're not just putting their idea of what is the new thing that is going in Ghana right now. Okay, so I would say no matter what the price is, do it here. Just do it here. Because then it's like you get what you want. You're gonna get a building that the layout is much better. The flow makes sense. Is gonna look nice inside and outside. So do it here. I suggest just do it here, wherever you are. Here means outside, whatever. Um, Ghana and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so keep keep the dream alive. Keep pushing. Um, find your support structure. Somebody that will pick you up, because life happens and things happens. Find somebody that doesn't have ulterior motives. Somebody that's going to encourage you, is going to pick you up and say, you know what, I think you're doing the right thing, but maybe you should adjust here and there, but keep pushing. We all need that. We all need that. Everybody needs that. And then share your victories and your disappointment, and every now and then take a break. Take a break. Do a little bit nice thing for yourself. Get away from the project, breathe in, and come back again and continue. You need that because you don't want to get burned out. Okay. So because it can be mentally draining. Not more of the money aspect, just dealing with people. So at a certain point, if you put it on hold 6 months, it's on hold 6 months. You control the duration, and it's not a race. When I started, I was like 4 years. 7 years later, I'm still there. I'm still not done, almost, but still not done. And I said, if it took me 10 years, I'm gonna get it done 10 years. And it's not a race for me. It's not a competition thing. At the end of the day, I want something that I will enjoy. And if it takes me 10 years, 15 years, whatever, that's the way it is, and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just share this to let you guys know that like everybody here who has started something or who start something will be dealing with issues, and so but it's part of the unfortunate things. It has almost become normal, that you would deal with some nonsense and some idiotic things. But at the end of the day, we have to do it. We have to do it. There's nothing like going to Ghana and staying in your own house. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing like that. You know, it's pride. It's a respect for self. Is you two finding out who you are, what you are capable of. So there's benefits, and don't let the other things like to the extent that people have said that you know if their family members and friends know that they're actually doing something in Ghana, maybe they'll be a target. Whatever. Just do what you gotta do. Whether you're doing something, you're not doing something, you're gonna be a target anyway. You must just do something. You must do something with it. So I don't worry about that thing. Back then they used to call like funeral homes, and so you hear stories and stuff like that. By the end of the day, it's like uh, everybody have somebody following them somehow, but you have to have courage, right? You have to have courage because you cannot allow negative people, unambitious people, to just kill a dream for you, right? Through fear or something like that. So have the courage to, yes, I know people have said, man, it is interesting you put a house like on YouTube and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but is if it has people, great. If somebody's looking at it and because of that, they want to do something, okay, they will get an opportunity to do that too. So at the end of the day, like I don't let fear, that type of fear, uh, kill my spirit. I like the fear of not doing something and living your life for 50, 60, 70 years and you have nothing to show for. That is more motivating, is more like a push for me than somebody, coming after me in whatever way or form. Okay. I don't worry about that. Um because in life, if you do anything meaningful, you're always gonna have adversaries. And sometimes you just have to embrace that too. It's just things in life that you have to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's worth it because it will be. Wouldn't this be awesome? Like you are driving somewhere in Accra, and it's gonna take a while for you to get your home, and you can call somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm just on coming crash." I think that would be awesome, right? That is what is in for me, right? Because I know people that are building in Tema. I know people that are building in Kumasi, right? I know people that are building Accra everywhere, right? Pram Pram, all over the place, right? If nothing will make me happier, we've all accomplished all these things, and we have this network of group that we have. And if you are traveling, you're going to Cape Coast, and this thing is long drive, this thing like that. You call me, I'm like, hey, just come by. Nothing, right? Nothing, because for me, that is what this is about. At the end of the day, when we leave this earth, we can't bring those things because they're just meant to be enjoyed. Testing soil, yes, sometimes it's needed, but sometimes it's a way people are using to collect money from other people. Um, because for me, unless maybe there's a lot of water on the ground and that kind of stuff. But if the land look fine, just dig. As they Because as they dig the foundation, they're gonna see like different layers, right? And because like for my house, there was one area that there was water, so they use a different type of cement. So that kind of stuff. But I know people are charging people ridiculous amount of money to go test soil. I didn't do all that stuff, and that kind of stuff because I mean, what are they really testing for? Okay, if there's water log area, you will know there's water log area, and as they dig the foundation, they will see it. So it's not necessary. You can build without that and stuff like that. So they will make adjustment as they go. But then if there's a lot of water, then you want to use the water, this waterproof cement, whatever they call it, and then also use like those plastic uh, water vapor barriers that they use for the foundation, so the water doesn't evaporate up, and then you start having like problems with like when you paint, they peel off and that kind of stuff. So you can do that. So any more questions on something specific? So like I'm still doing a few things. I'm about to do AC work. Um, for the AC, I'm not gonna do recommendation until when I go there and I test it and it works and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm looking at the AC, installing AC and that kind of stuff in the next month or two, and then I'm looking at a CCTV too and that kind of stuff. So that's the few things um, that I'm looking at, and obviously, shipping another container and that kind of stuff. So, but right now it's just like on hold and planning and regroup and then figure out what is the next step. So, other than that, yeah, nothing. I don't have like any big update. You have questions, you know where to find me. Yeah, paint. Yeah, that's fine. The thing about when you're doing your painting before we go is like make sure this is very, very important. Test if you're using borehole. Test to make sure the water doesn't contain salt. You do not want to use that with your paint. So I will say this: if you are doing painting, buy water, right? Because you're not even going to use a lot of the water. So what they do is they think, yeah. So the paint you'll be buying them in buckets, you know, and then what they do is like they probably will add about for every bucket to add about maybe about 10% of water to it to mix it. So that is what they do. But double check to make sure the borehole water doesn't contain salt. Chances are it might contain salt. So just get a little uh, barrel, and then I think for a house like my size, 2 barrels of water will be able to finish to be added to the pan and finish both everything. So do that. CCTV, I'm gonna have them do it over there because I didn't. The cameras are from here, but they don't have to deal with a power thing, 220 versus 110 and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, but I know some friends that are buying theirs from here. So get one that is night vision compatible and that kind of stuff. Is very active, and then get one that has like a bigger angle of coverage or angle of view, whatever they call it. So then you don't have to have like multiple. You will have multiple, but if the more areas you are covering, that's good. And you also want to have like two cameras that are like opposing each other, right? So you cover that. Um, and in these things, it's not like you have to do these things. I think these are like accessories and convenience or anything like that. It's just that for me, it's not even paranoia or anything like that. It's just like you just want to just go and enjoy yourself and have a good time. And so the more deterrent stuff you have, the more it's going to enhance your quality of life. Not granted, nothing's ever guaranteed, but anything you can do to just enjoy your peace of mind, that's what you do. So then my electrician is going to install that because he can do those things. So he's good on that. I already made provisions for all the like wiring and everything. So it's just getting the device. Um, So the issue with the 220 washing machine, right? So like I said the other time, so it looks like Samsung. I kind of gave up a little bit because I've been dealing with them for 2 months here. I bought a machine from here, but when we got to Ghana, it's not going to work because of the machine from here uses two wire system. Ghana uses one to get a 220. If you buy a washing machine that is electric from the US, it's not going to work. It's 220. If you buy the gas one, it's going to work. But I think if I have to do it again, buy the washing machine in Ghana. Buy from there. You will pay about $300 more for the same brand that you are looking for. You pay about $300 more. So it's expensive, but then you know it's going to work, right? So if I have to go back, I'll do that. The fridge and all that kind of stuff will be fine. The microwave, all that kind of stuff. It's just the washer will be fine, because the washer will be fine. It's just the dryer. There's something about the dryer, the way they've set up the wiring system. So that is the challenge. But we have good wiring system in Ghana. Have them use that, because it's like the thing is sometimes we have quality stuff outside, but sometimes not compatible. That's the problem. So that's the one thing. If I have to go back, I wouldn't have sent a washer. And I put it on myself because I did all my research. And then when I got down there, I was like, oh, the electric one, I was gonna go for gas. And the electric one was like a little bit cheaper. So I didn't check the power stuff. And then I got it. And so it's kind of like I dropped the ball. So I'm gonna keep it over there for now till I decide what is gonna happen over there. So but it looks like I may have to get so these are some of the things that you don't plan for, and then it comes in. Uh, color code. Yes, yes, yes. So that's the thing. So it's just you pick and choose. Pick and choose certain things that you want, and so is like I was even like stuff like Blender and all kinds of stuff, because for me, I want to be able to, if something breaks down and I have money, then I can go to the store and get it, right? So, and it's easier for certain things, right? It's easier for certain things. The other things that I'm gonna use the 110, like step down and that kind of stuff. It's just stuff that I know that if it breaks down, it's like, I'll be, I can still manage and stuff like that. Um, and like for example, you buy your TVs, right? Then they have to do all the step down and that kind of stuff. So and sometimes it's so here's the challenge. It's very, very difficult as you get to electrical. It's very, very difficult for you to know what appliances that you are going to use for 110 or 220. And so that is a big challenge. That's a big challenge, because if you do know, then you save money in the terms of the electrician is going to do that one time. Other than that, what is going to happen is you're going to be like in my situation, like there's certain things that I was sure I want 110 that I bought from here, but then either I'm going to buy a lot of like converters, adapters, whatever, or I may have to tell my electrician to change some specific switches that I can use for 110. So, but it's hard to know. It's hard to figure everything out and that kind of stuff. So I don't have a lot of knowledge about the interlocking brake. So I don't want to give bad advice on that. So I mean, ideally, if money was not an issue, you want to get off the grid, right? Get off the grid means have your solar, control your stuff. You have your borehole, control your water and solar. These two things, right? If you can control water and power, you put yourself in a good place, right? Because those are the two disruptions, right, that you're going to have. So the borehole Granted, if you can go water, is the cheaper. You can get a borehole reasonable price. I mean, compared to solar or anything like that. Um, but if you can do that, I always think like even the solar, the cool thing is like you don't have to do solar for the whole house. You can just do specifically for certain things. Like you can say, okay, just the appliances and maybe specific light in the house, right? And then you just put it over there, that kind of stuff. And so then as you get money, you can always add more batteries and more like solar panels. And so you can because it can be very expensive for the initial cost. So if you have those things, two things, I think you will enjoy your quality of life because not everybody does well with doom saw. Um, and in the generators, yes, you can get them, but I think like if you can to be sustainable, if you can be just control your stuff, that'd be nice. So screeding is basically after they do the flooring. Oh, you only need screeding if you want to do tiling, right? So, because when you do tiling, you don't want it to be so smooth because then it doesn't adhere, the mortar doesn't adhere. So, screeding basically, they're going to make the surface a little bit rough so that the mortar and the tiles can find those gaps and hold. Um, but one of the things you're going to find out is that because Ghana, we eyeball everything, when you get down there, you're going to find out that it's not leveled, the ground. Um, don't even get me started. So, you may have to make some adjustment over there and stuff like that. But screeding is you do that. So they only gonna do on the flooring if you want to do tiling. Other than that, if you're gonna do like maybe a hardwood floor, so you want to get it smooth. But tiling you need screeding. Usually they will give you that as an extra after you get your flooring work. They will designate some amount of labor and materials for screeding. So Iron Gate, like Bograpu, Iron Gate. Well, you see, so the thing is like, um, so the thing about security and all those things is is more about. So it's like it start from the main gate, right? The wall, then the entrance point, right? The windows, right? So um, so it's just like no one thing is it. It's a series of things. So because so what you play basically what you are doing is like you playing psychological game with a perpetrator. So if they look like, okay, I got to do this, then I do that, then I do that, then I do that, it's way too much work, right? It's way too much work. And for most of them, they don't want to. They want to get in there quickly and be out, right? So that's what you're trying to do. So I think like you can do a wooden door. Excuse me. The only thing I don't recommend is a glass door because very very weak. They can easily smash it, and then if they smash it, then you know what? You gotta go buy a whole new one. And in Ghana, you're not gonna get one that same day, right? And so that means you have to. There's a potential that you have to leave for a week or more with that, like it's a secure door or anything like that. So the glass, unless maybe that glass is like a balcony, second level balcony or something like that, then you can do that with like maybe a collapsible burglar proof behind it. But for a main entrance, that's a no no. It looks nice in magazine when you look at that, it looks really, really nice. But for security, no, they can bend those rails and lift the glass up. Easy, easy to do. And when I did my plan initially, that's what it was, but I changed that to like wooden door is gonna make a lot of noise, and that's what I want. I want to hear the noise. That's all I want to know. That something is going on. So and usually the glass ones too, the locks are terrible. They can just use like a screwdriver and pry it open. So it's just one of those things. So wall screening. No, you wouldn't. No, so unless hmm, I mean the only time that I think you want to do a wall screening is Well, if you want to tile like the bathroom, right? The bathroom, yeah, yeah. So you do that. But but I think too is like the idea of like um because chances are, you have to tell them how you want your bathroom tiled. So like like I said, like 4 feet, 4 feet from the ground across, and then where the shower, you go 8 feet. That's what I did with mine. Because too much tile can sometimes it's like headache. It's like it looks like you are like a psychiatric ward or something like that. It's just too much. So you want a break, so the tie comes in halfway, then you see the paint, right? Because the paint is going to enhance it. Paint can do wonders to the house. It can change the mood, the feel of a room. So I never want a place that I don't have paint. And the thing about tiling is that when you tile, let's say tile whole bathroom, you can't change it, right? And so with a paint, you can change it every 5 years or whatever the time, whatever you want. And then the room is more refreshed, right? So the the tiles are just like permanent stuff. If you remove them, then you're gonna put a new tile. And so, but you have to tell them how far you want them to go on the screening. Where you want to paint, they should do smooth. Where you want to tile, have them do screening. Okay, so cost. So email me cost about that. Proximity, because when I say cost, is everything, right? Because like everything, um, that means shipping container cost. If you ship a car, that means like everything you bought, every appliances, every money you give to somebody to go check something is part of the process. So you include everything that has any remote thing, permit on the house, the blueprint, shipping a blueprint from here to Ghana. So everything. So when I give you the cost of the whole everything I spent, is everything included. So that doesn't apply to a lot of people because some people are different levels, and some people certain things are not necessary. They didn't have to do like transfer the land into their name, that kind of stuff. So it's different too. But at the end of the day, it's expensive no matter where you look at it. So it's not cheap. It can be done. Can be done. It's just going to take hard work and discipline and stuff like that. But so yeah, so it's always costing. Cost is always like gauging thing. Because your house may be different. It may be smaller or bigger, and that's going to affect the cost. No, I'm not aware of that. Yeah, I don't have that. But I can check with my electrician with a bulb for the street lights. Now the street light they even doing solar. So I got some solar light in front of the house. They are doing so. But I bought one, and because at one point my gate area was very dark, so I installed one light over there as well. So how do we know sure window bars don't eventually chip from the wall? Well, like I said, right? So eventually the thing when you build cement, right? Eventually depend because even so here are the challenges, right? Because even when they mix cement and sand, they're just doing a thing by visual, right? It's like, I mean, there's no way you can tell everything is mixed evenly, right? So there's some imperfection over here and there, but as you are going, you're gonna fix that. But I also think too, like at a certain point, you're gonna be like, forget this. I just want to enjoy the house, and you deal with it when it becomes an issue. For me, if it's not structural, it's like let it roll a little bit, and then you can tackle it because there's always gonna be cracks here and there. There's always gonna be something that chip here and there, but mostly make sure the cement is enriched when they are doing um, the burglar proof installation and that kind of stuff. So land identity, so like it varies, right? It varies. Um, Land varies. It can be You can get $1,000. Now they're doing what 10 by 70 to some places 50,000 for the same thing. So it's just about the location. It's just about the location, um, and stuff like that. So all those things varies. But I can say for a plot, for most places you can get a plot of land between, I'll say, $46,000. You can get a one plot. Some place you can even get 100 by 100 and stuff like that. So, but it depends. At the end, it depends the location that is. So anyway, so I wanted to wrap this up. I didn't want it to go too long. Okay, and just let you guys know that um, you can overcome all these challenges, and then it's like, find your motivating factors, and get your support network, and just make that dream come true, and just pursue it, and just share the ideas, and the challenges as well, so we can all get this thing done. Yeah, so I don't know when my next video is going to be, stuff, depending on when I get a AC and that kind of stuff done, then I'm gonna do like an update, a video of the house with that installation. But I can't promote that yet because I've not tested them, that kind of stuff. So I want to test them to see they're worth you paying for that. But send me emails with questions. I'll get to them. If I don't, um, I do a pretty good job of answering in 48 hours. So because I wanted to respect your time, so you send it and be deliberate, and then I'll respond. If you don't hear from me for about 4 days, um, resend it or something like that, then I'll get to it. And so maybe the next video I'm gonna do is like, we're gonna talk about rental and business, doing that kind of stuff in Ghana. So let me know in the comment section if you want me to address that, and stuff like that, or other areas you want me to discuss that. So share the video, please. Subscribe, share, click the like button, and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of people that need this information out there. So the more we can share that, they also have something to contribute, and then we can be informed, and not waste time and money. Thank you very much. I appreciate taking the time to check in, and you guys are awesome. And I look forward for the next stream. Thank you.